drop when you're at 180 beats. I doubt you care about monotony. Oh, stars being dropped. I have no idea. This is tragic. I have no idea what happened here. I really want to know who's been pushing the pace in the front though. Like, is it Bindya or is it Jasleen? Because one of them seems to be really motivated.
And the gap between third and fourth place has kept going up too.
What do you think RGT stands for?
Real Grand Tour, if I'm not wrong.
I tried Googling, I couldn't find it anywhere. You know, one power cut is all it takes before you lose your position.
At least for people riding indoors today, the weather seems to be a little cooler than it was a few weeks ago.
Yeah. If I had to pick right now, I think I'd pick Bindya because he's been saving up a lot of energy, staying in the back.
Wow, Bindya goes for it. Bindya goes for it.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is 3 p.m. in India right now, and we are live here on Twitch for the monthly crits second virtual race, this time on RGT. Today we have a special day. We also celebrate the World Environment Day, and it's a special day for all our cyclists who have gathered here today to get racing. I am Shaurya, and I'll be your host for today afternoon to evening. And with me, I have our chief streaming manager, Madhusudan Kashyap.
Yeah, quite the designation that. Always happy to be part of these races. It's, a little bit of excitement to keep us going through the boring lockdowns that are happening currently.
Right, truly. So we have like 3 minutes to go before we begin the race. This is the women's category. This time we have around 6-7 participants in the women's category. From ISRT, we have Grini and Jasleen, who would be putting up a strong performance, I suppose.
Definitely saw them putting out a brilliant performance the last time around as well.
Yeah, and RGT's, they've been spending a lot of time on Zwift, so I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some good teamwork. RGT's got some really nice cycling dynamics. Like throughout the course of the race, you guys as viewers can focus on the top left corner where we have all the dynamics, the power, the cadence, and the heart rate. It also has some interesting features where it shows you how much draft you're getting into, how much power you're saving when you're in someone's draft. It's also got some nice cornering features. We are here at Canary Wharf today, Canary Wharf in London. The loop is 1 kilometer long and it's 10 loops. So I'm guessing, given the speeds that fast ladies did last time, I'm thinking it's going to be like a 20-minute subfest. And we've got like 2 minutes to go. I think everybody's going to be powering by now. Madhu, who's your pick before the race begins? Who do you think?
Star was definitely the star last time around, so that would be my pick definitely going into this race. What about you?
Oh wow, that's a tough question. I think I'm going to go with Greeny this time. I still feel like last time on Zwift we had a lot of other participants who weren't part of TMC across the world, and that draft basically gave maybe Star a bit of a advantage in the beginning. I think this time Grini and Jasleen and Bindya and Prachi are going to keep a good eye on the competition. It's easier to keep track.
Fair enough. Looks like it's going to be an exciting one, and less than 10 seconds to go. Final 5 seconds, and take it away.
And here we go. Right from the start, we're going to be following Grini, and Grini's powering through. She's made sure she's kept a good pace in the beginning. Some really cool, you can think about RGT, and it's on the top left corner, you can see a person's, a rider's power history. As you can see, there's a small line curve, tells you about how much effort someone's putting.
Definitely.
And
for people who are just getting into cycling or people like me looking at data like this can give us a much bigger insight into how things actually progress on the road, and seeing that in a virtual landscape is kind of much easier to understand, I would say.
Right. So Canary Wharf is mostly it's 0% average gradient, but it's around. There are 2 points. Like right now is the point. There are small sections where you face 2 to 3 to 4% gradient, and those are small, really small sections. But in virtual racing, it's those small sections that can make a lot of a difference. You have to make sure you're in the draft, and as of now, how we're looking at Grini and all four ladies in the top, Jasleen, Jasleen, and Bindya, Star, all of them being together. They're keeping a good check on each other. Um,
And I really like how the track looks. It's the visuals are stunning, the lights are bright, and visually, it's very attractive to look at.
right? Yeah, it definitely looks a little more realistic, especially with the human figures and the colors going around. So it's a little too bright for reality.
And could get a little monotonous, I would say.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, when you're at 180 beats on your bicycle, I doubt you care about monotony at that point in time.
Fair enough.
Looks like we're on this finishing the second lap now. It's 2 kilometers into the race. Um, and on the top right side, you can see there's 8.7 kilometers to go. A long way to go, I guess. It's still the beginning of the race. And Prachi seems to have gotten dropped a little. She is 200 meters behind the front group. The front group consists of 4 riders. We have Jasleen, Grinchina, Bindya, and Star.
And this group has stayed tight since the beginning. They've stayed close, and hope it goes all the way through till the end like this. It's going to be a very exciting finish.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Indian women doing a sprint finish. I think right now what's important is for this group to kind of settle down and just make sure you make use of the draft quite really.
Absolutely. How would you approach a race like this, Shaurya?
Well, around this point, if I'm with the front group, I think I'd rather stay behind, not do much. Just make sure the power color on the top left corner doesn't turn red. When it turns red, it means you're doing too much power than required to stay in a draft. And looks like one person's got dropped.
Looks like Star has been dropped.
Oh, Star's been dropped. Star, what do you think happened there? Can we move to Star? Let's see how she's doing right now.
Definitely. Star has dropped off from the
Oh,
lead
look
group in
at
the
that
front.
heart rate. She is suffering right now. And that cadence, I have no idea. This is tragic. I have no idea what happened here.
Very surprising, and yeah, it's kind of disheartening to see this. So let's
Yeah, and
hope.
the distance keeps increasing. It's 70 meters, and now it's just going to keep increasing.
Yeah.
Well, let's just hope she keeps on trying harder. Let's go to the front of the group and see how hard they're pushing. Must have been like a relief for these guys to have dropped the winner from the last time. Now they just need to work together.
Yeah, I think psychologically that has given them a massive boost as well.
Definitely, definitely. And they seem to be working together. The gap seems to have increased to 100 meters to Star now.
Yeah, very. very disappointing for me, at least, as I had her on the as my pick. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you definitely owe me a beer now. I think.
yeah. Shout out to Bira again, and yeah, hope they'll
Oh yeah,
take care of our
definitely.
beer
Yes,
supplies
yes.
too.
Yeah. So Bira's been one of our main sponsors for the event, for all of the TMC events as of now, and they be sending out goodies from their Bira Light merchandise to all the winners. Uh, and soon, when I think once the lockdown comes off and we get back to real road racing, we'll have some actual gear on for the podium. So
Shaurya, there are some developments on the road here. Would you like to comment on what's happening?
wow, wow, looks like Greeny has Jocelyn is putting the hammer down really bad. Oh no, Greeny, come on, you need to keep it up because you're my favorite for the race. Come on, 20 meters. It's still. I think she can still get there. Bindya has been doing amazingly well. Bindya is the first time racing with a TMC event. She wasn't part of the Zwift event last time. She
Right.
is part of this team from Chennai called Triple A. Uh, she is 62 kilos and around about 165 centimeters in height. So, considering that, she's putting in uh, some good power. Can we go to Bindya?
And she's using the draft well as very
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Looks like she's got like some kind of experience doing this because she's sitting perfectly in the draft. If you see the small cartoon on the top left corner, you can see she's maintaining that 2 to 5 meter gap between the front rider.
Yep.
She's amazingly well. Grinjana's gap has increased to like 60 meters now, and Star's like 500 meters, and it's only close to half of the race. Well, at this point, I think we should be betting on the third place because both our favorites have gone to fighting for the third place
Yeah.
right now. Oh, Star's really suffering. She's look at that heart rate. She's at 196 BPM. There's no coming down from here though. It's only upwards.
Yeah. And that's alarming to hear.
Definitely. I really want to know who's been pushing the pace in the front though. Like, is it Bindya or is it Jasleen? Because one of them seems to be really motivated to get the race really hard from the beginning itself.
There we go. Masani is hammering through this.
So a little about Jasleen. Jasleen is racing from Gandhinagar. Uh, she is one of the really good triathletes that India has got, and she's been participating and representing India in a couple of Ironman events. And she is 73 kilos, dude. And I think the RGT dynamics is slightly different from what we saw in Zwift, where we saw um, complete power to weight domination. The moment you're a lighter guy or a lighter rider, and you can still, your power to weight ratio can still make sure you stick to the front group. But here it seems to be a different physics that they've been using, which is a little more real though.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it.
Because if you see Jasleen's constantly putting like 2+ watts per kilo in the front. Bindya is playing smart. Bindya has been in the draft right now for quite some time, and just making sure she doesn't have to work too hard.
Yeah.
Jasleen's doing all the work in the front.
And the gap from between the third and the fourth place is kept going up too.
Well, that's your bet to lose the third and the fourth.
uh, yeah,
So I've got a quick question for you.
here we go.
Now that, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a. I'm not sure. So I mean, it's a question for all our viewers. What do you think RGT stands for?
Oh, Real Grand Tour, if I'm not wrong. Road Grand
That's
Tour.
well, that's very close. Yeah, actually, that's
Road
that's
Grand
it.
Tour, if I'm not wrong.
I think it's real.
Okay.
Even I'm confused. I tried googling, I couldn't find it anywhere.
Looks like you don't have the fastest fingers first.
Yeah. Oh wow! Looks like let's go back to the racing right now. I think Jaslene's attack. Jasleen keeps on attacking. You could see just now she's going into the red, making
Get it.
sure she drops Bindya on the slight elevation that we have here. She just wants to get rid of her.
But that hasn't happened throughout the
That
race.
hasn't happened throughout the race. You look at Bindya's avatar; it's super tuck,
Yeah.
very arrow in the back. Um, just staying there, and I think it's going to end up with a sprint finish with these two. It's we're close to only 3 kilometers remaining, which is just 3 more laps. Come on, ladies.
Sharia, do you think Jasleen would have to change her strategy around a little bit to try and drop Bindya, or do you think she should just keep going the same way that the race has been progressing so far?
Well, it mostly depends on the kind of rider you are. If you don't have sprinting legs, you should make sure you keep the hammer down for as long as possible. I mean, if you see Alex Dowsett's performance in one of the Giros last year, and you could see that once you're in the break, he's not the kind of guy who wants to sprint. He'll make sure that he'll attack with like 40 minutes to go in the race and just make sure he holds a steady pace. And so you never know. You never know when a rider blows up. If we go back to Bindya, we can see what her heart rate is like, and even if it's like 500 meters before the finish, and it just gets harder to draw people in the end, though.
Right, right. Star has dropped to the 5th spot now. I don't know what has gone wrong there.
Yeah, she isn't pedaling anymore. She's at 0 watts per kilo. I think she blew up completely. Bad day for her. I think even if you're a great rider, you can have days when it just doesn't work out for you, and a lot of things could have gone wrong on that day.
Yeah, definitely. Here's wishing Star that she recovers well, and yeah, hopefully we'll see her back at the next race.
Yeah, we're on the second lap now. In the back of the race, I think Grinchana is still trying to keep up that. I think she'll mostly get third place, but you can never be sure. I think it's, one power cut is all it takes before you lose your position. And given, for people in Bangalore, given BBMP and their antics, you can never be sure.
Yep, especially since it's been raining.
Oh wow, the weather's been it's been quite brutal for all cyclists.
Yeah. But at least for people
especially-
riding indoors today, the weather seems to be a little cooler than it was a few weeks ago.
Yeah, definitely. We're close to the 2 laps to go after this, 2.5 kilometers to go. And from the looks of it, Jasleen and Bindya have been working together throughout. It's mostly Jasleen doing all the work. She's trying to drop Bindya. What do you think? Which one of them do you think has a better sprint?
Yeah, it's really hard to pick, but
I mean, for starters, I could tell you Bindya is 62 kilos and Jasleen 73.
yeah, Jasleen would be the one, I would say.
Right. It's kind of like it's kind of interesting now to see because given RGT doesn't work completely on power to weight, and the finish is kind of flat. It's not. There's no elevation in the finish. So
Right.
it's going to be interesting to see which one of them takes the win. If I had to pick right now, I think I'd pick Bindya because she's been saving up a lot of energy, staying in the back and
Yeah.
racing really smart. That's the best place to be. If I was Jasleen right now, I'd like take some time to make sure I get a good sprint and finish.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like Jocelyn's going on the attack here.
Well, she's definitely putting north of 200 watts now.
Uh, Close to the final kilometer.
Close to the final kilometer, and looks like Binder's kind of like slowed down a bit. And this is like quite crucial now. I think virtual sprints should start way earlier than what we see on real roads. Real roads, you'd see people sprinting with 200 meters to go, but I think virtual platforms, you should start with 3, 4 to 500 meters to go, and that's a good time for your avatar to start reacting to the power that you're putting in.
That's an interesting anecdote. This is going to be an exciting finish.
Right, Bindia, the gap between Bindia and Jasleen is increasing. Jasleen's putting the hammer down, I think, now. She doesn't want to drag Bindia to the finish.
But
She's been
Bindia
doing
keeps
that.
persisting.
Yeah, she's been doing this all day long. Looks like it's with 1 kilometer to go, one final lap. Jasleen doesn't want to take her in. She's putting 240 north of like 3.2, 3.5 watts per kilo right now, trying to drop Bindia. But this is when the adrenaline kicks in, and it's really difficult to drop people
Yeah, yeah.
because
It looks like she's pushing through the gears. The cadence is dropping. The power's increasing.
right, and both of them, Bindia is on 5 watts per kilo, right behind her with close to 700 meters to go. I think it's still too early to start sprinting. Maybe another 100 meters.
There they go.
Yeah, it's a good point to stay on Bindia, and Bindia sprints. She's putting the power down right now, going north of 3 to 4 watts per kilo now. 500 meters to
Just
go.
to go.
This is going to be super interesting.
This is a nail-biting finish for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Shaurya, if you had to pick someone right now, go.
I'd still go for Bindia right now.
All right,
I
here we
think
go then. Final
400
400
meters.
meters. Well, I'm super excited to watch this go down.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think
Wow,
think
Bindia
now's the
goes
time.
for it.
Now is
Bindia
it-
goes for it.
6 watts per kilo. Bindia goes for it. Bindia's dropped, Jasleen. Like I said,
Oh, wow.
this is a brilliant performance, and she knows she's won it. It's only 100 meters. She just needs to make sure she crosses the line.
Oh,
She
wow.
dropped in. There's 30 meters gap between Bindia and Jasleen, and Bindia
Bindia-
has just
Yeah.
taken the win in a very dominant fashion. AAA coaching, great kudos to you. And some good news for us, because we're going to be seeing a lot of AAA coaching guys for the next coming categories. So that's going to be super interesting. Wow, what a finish!
That was some finish. That was just that was literally putting the hammer down and just going for it.
Yeah, it was well played from the beginning. You could see how well she was sitting in the draft, just making sure that the other riders doing most of it. From the looks of it, I feel I think Binda is a road cyclist and not a triathlete.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, but nonetheless, I think a great effort by Jasleen. She did brilliantly well from her last Zwift performance, and here we see Grinny finish, and Grinny finishes with a good sprint in the end. Brilliant performance, I think, by both the ISRT girls. Um, we have Prachi, who's going to be finishing soon. Bad day for Star.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, everybody has a bad day.
Yeah, Tantra, I think that's pretty much it. And we're gonna have the results. The results are pretty clear. But still be putting up an official post out soon. The next race is at 4 p.m. and it's going to be Cat C Men, which is 2 to 3 watts per kilo. It's probably the most competitive category we have as of now.
Yeah, yeah, and definitely some pointers to take from this race for everybody who will be racing later.
Definitely, definitely. This isn't Zwift. That's what I would want to say. It's not powder weight. It's not just powder weight. Also, it's a pretty flat course. Uh, so just make sure you get into the draft and keep an eye on the left top corner of the screen.